The man who built everything but trusted no one. In the busy and ever-growing city of Kampala, where tall buildings shine under the hot African sun and expensive cars move like symbols of power along the wide roads, there lived a man whose name carried weight in every office, every bank, and every government building. His name was Jabari Okello, and many people called him the Lion of the City because of the empire he had built with his own hands. Jabari was not born rich. In fact, he grew up in deep poverty in a small village far away from the bright lights of the capital. As a young boy, he used to walk barefoot on dusty roads, helping his mother sell vegetables in the market just so they could eat at night. He knew what hunger felt like, and he knew the pain of being ignored by people who had money. Those painful memories never left his heart, even after he became one of the richest men in the country. Through hard work, sleepless nights, and fearless business decisions, Jabari slowly built companies in construction, transport, real estate, and import trading. He faced betrayal from business partners, false accusations from jealous competitors, and moments when he nearly lost everything. However, each time he fell, he rose again stronger and wiser. After many years of struggle, he finally became a billionaire, respected and feared at the same time. Despite all his wealth, Jabari had only one treasure that truly mattered to him, and that was his only son, Daniel Okello. Daniel was born after many years of marriage, and Jabari loved him more than his own life. He sent him in Jabbar Presson. When Daniel finished his studies and returned home to help manage the family businesses, Jabari felt proud but also worried. He knew that wealth attracts many people, and not all of them come with pure intentions. He often told his close circle of friends, who were also powerful businessmen, that his greatest fear was not losing money, but losing his son to someone who loved the family fortune more than the family itself. One evening, Daniel walked into his father's grand living room, where crystal chandeliers reflected light across polished marble floors, and he spoke words that made Jabari's heart tighten with silent concern. Daniel told him that he had fallen in love with a young woman named Amina Nanteza, a simple and humble girl from a modest family in Masaka. He described her as kind, respectful, and God-fearing. He said she loved him for who he was and not for his wealth. Jabari listened carefully without interrupting, his face calm and unreadable. Inside, however, questions were rising like a storm. He had seen many women pretend to love wealthy men, only to disappear when the money was gone. He had watched powerful families destroyed because someone married for comfort instead of commitment. He did not want his son to become another story of regret. When he finally met Amina, she greeted him with respect, lowering her eyes and speaking softly. She did not act impressed by the mansion or the expensive furniture. She did not ask about cars or companies. Instead, she spoke about family, unity, and building a peaceful home. Her simplicity confused him because it looked genuine, yet his heart refused to relax. The wedding took place in a beautiful ceremony attended by high-profile guests, politicians, and wealthy friends. Cameras flashed, music played, and speeches were given about love and a bright future. Jabari smiled for the public, raised his glass for celebration, and welcomed Amina into the family with dignified words. But deep inside his heart, he made a silent promise to himself that he would one day test her loyalty in a way she would never expect. Months passed, and Amina settled into the family home with grace. She treated the workers kindly, respected her husband deeply, and never interfered in business matters. Still, Jabari observed every detail carefully, studying her behavior the way he studied business people, sat alone in his private study. The city lights of Kampala shone outside his window, but his thoughts were darker than the night. He remembered the hunger of his childhood, the betrayal of former partners, and the painful lessons that wealth had taught him. He realized that if Amina truly loved his son, then she would remain loyal even if everything disappeared. The next morning, he invited his 33 closest friends, men who were not only wealthy but also loyal to him through decades of business battles. They gathered in his private conference hall, unaware that he was about to suggest something unusual and risky. Jabari stood before them and spoke slowly, explaining his fear and his desire to know the truth about his daughter-in-law's heart. The room became silent as he revealed his bold idea. He told them that he planned to pretend that he had lost everything, that his companies had collapsed, and that he had become a poor and broken man. He wanted to see whether Amina would remain faithful when comfort turned into news of his financial downfall. They would watch and observe quietly. As the meeting ended, Jabari looked at his friends and said something that made even the strongest among them uneasy. He said that true loyalty is proven only when there is nothing left to gain. That very evening, as Daniel and Amina